What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the UTL Trucking Education Hub podcast. I'm your host, Tamaris Massengale. Everybody wants to know how to become a freight broker, but here's the better question. How do you become a freight broker that customers actually keep coming back to? Because getting your first customer is one thing. Keeping that customer for years is something completely different. This industry isn't built on one load. It's built on trust, it's built on relationships, it's built on consistently delivering value. Today, we're talking about freight brokering, entrepreneurship, customer relationships, sales, and what it really takes to build a business that stands the test of time. So whether you're thinking about becoming a freight broker, already running a brokerage, or simply looking to grow your business, this is one conversation you don't want to miss. Before we jump in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get to the trucking truth. Today's guest has built his brand around one powerful idea: that freight brokering just isn't a transaction, it's a long-term business built on relationships. Trent Tulloh is the founder of Forever Freight Broker, where he shares his knowledge and experience to help others understand what it takes to build a successful brokerage and create lasting relationships with customers and carriers. His approach goes beyond booking freight. It's about earning trust, delivering value, and building a business that is designed to last. Today, we're talking about freight brokering, entrepreneurship, and customer service. Please help me welcome Trent Tulloh from Forever Freight Broker to UTL Trucking Education Hub podcast. Trent, how's it going this morning?
Oh, it's going great. Just moving freight, having a good week. I'm a little exhausted. I know I told you this, but it's a good exhaustion. I'm moving a ton of freight, a lot of business moving. I've got a lot of people to help. So I go to bed very happy and, it's a blessing.
That's the key right there. That's the key. When you can go to bed at night and you did the best and you gave the best of you, it's all good. So tell us a little about, who is Trent? What is he about before freight brokering?
Yeah, so the reason why I got into the industry was my dad. He was a truck driver. He was an owner-op. He owned his own business. And he was gone all the time, driving the truck. So that was one thing that I didn't like, that he was always gone. And then he would always complain about brokers stealing all of his money. He's like, brokers doing this, brokers doing that. And then he lost his business. So I ended up becoming a broker because I didn't want to drive the truck. I'd rather, have some sort of like remote work opportunity in the future of some sort. I became a freight broker, solely to figure out like why, why did my dad lose his business? And then I ended up loving the industry, falling in love with it, seeing how much money is to be made, but in reality, finding out that the way to make money is to help both ends, the shipper and the driver. Found out the cheat code in the industry and felt it was necessary to start helping people that was in the same position as my father. So I opened up a brokerage about 5 years ago, 5 and 7 months. I opened up a freight brokerage. I've been in the industry for 10, by the way. I've had Forever Freight Broker, which is my training company, or I would say mentorship more because I work one-on-one with everybody. I started to help truck drivers cut the middleman out. And I know it sounds contradicting, but it's not. Like, people are like, why are you giving the truck drivers the knowledge of brokering? Because then, eventually they won't need you. It's kind of like being a realtor saying, you don't need a realtor. You could just get your real estate license.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm doing. And most people think of it the wrong way, but I think of it in a different spectrum. If I can help as many truck drivers as possible, well, first off, there is so much opportunity out there. I mean,
Yes.
a crazy amount of money to be made. People aren't tapping into the right areas. So anybody that says the market is crap or the market sucks or the market this or the market that simply is just uneducated. They don't know how to find the freight. So guess what they do? They blame the market instead of
Right.
themselves. They have
Yeah.
to educate yourself. You have to know where the gold is in order to find gold. They're digging in their backyard for gold. They're in the wrong area, you know? So, um, my main passion was to help truck drivers cut the middleman out and work direct with the shippers so that they can now profit as a trucking company because most people aren't profitable and they blame the market. But if I showed them how to cut the middleman out, the brokers that's stealing the money from them, now they're all of a sudden profitable. They're like, oh, the market isn't bad, you know?
That's
And
right.
I'll
I
give you a
love
prime
that.
example of why they think the market is bad. I always use this one. It's like, you know how going into Florida as a truck driver is very they pay a lot more. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
you're paying very good. But then when you try to get out of Florida, you're getting paid nothing. You might as well
Right.
just deadhead up to Georgia. The reason why it's that way is because brokers manipulated the drivers into thinking that the market is just that way. But no, it's because Florida is a peninsula, right? You can't go left, you can't go right because you'll fall off and go into the water. You can't go down, you'll fall off and go to the water. There's one way out. So you have to take this freight. Supply and demand is what they're doing. So, um, but if that was wide open, you know, they could find opportunity here. They could find opportunity here. They could find opportunity here, but they can't to Florida. That's why they pay like crap going out. So they try to make as much money as possible. Brokers are always trying to make as much money as possible, right? Rather than thinking, how can I get my drivers to like, so the cycle of being successful as a freight broker, sorry to veer off. Um, the cycle of becoming a successful freight broker and make a bunch of money in this industry is to help both parties.
Right.
Shipper wants you to do a good job, right?
Right.
They want you to do a good job, but you're not driving the truck, so you have no control over that. But you certainly can have control over that by paying your drivers more, right?
Right.
So brokers, what
Yes.
they try to do is get the lowest truck possible, but that means the truck is just gonna treat it like crap. They don't have
Yeah.
a reason why they should do good work for you because you're paying them like crap. If you
That's
paid
right.
them good, they're gonna show up on time. They're gonna give you good updates because they want that load again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They want that relationship with you because you're paying well. And guess what? If they do a good job for your shipper's happy. So they give you more freight, right?
That's
So
right.
it's just this revolving cycle. That's how you make money in this industry.
That's
Simple as
right.
that.
That's right. Okay, so you just gave the whole game. So we can just end the interview right now. That was what, 5 minutes? Like we could just end it now, bro. Like you just demolished the whole negative concept about brokering
Yeah.
and owner
About,
operator
about the
relationship.
market, really, about the market as well. And truckers thinking that it's the end, but it's not. Just learn brokering. If you can learn freight brokering, if you could cut that middleman, because most truckers don't think that they can learn it. They don't think that they
Yeah,
have the time. I teach people that are on the road. Like they
yeah,
toss their headphones in and they listen to me ramble and teach them how to make money in this industry the proper way.
yeah.
But most importantly, teach them what brokers do so that they know what brokers. What these truckers are doing is walking into a dealership, right? They're walking into a dealership not knowing anything about the car, right?
That's right.
the
That's
the,
right.
the person that's selling you the car is going to make you pay the highest price. If you don't know how to negotiate, if you don't know what rate you can go down to, how much the car is actually worth, how are you
Right.
going to do anything for yourself? But if you
That's right.
did study, go in there and you know that you could get the rate down here, you would have saved $10,000. But they're not doing that. They're not educating themselves. So
That's right. I love what you're
that's
saying.
where I come in.
I love
Go ahead.
what you're pulling. Not to cut you off, excuse me.
Get it?
But I love what you're saying. Because you're hitting on what I teach as well. Is that individuals that are seeking opportunities in trucking, no matter whether it's freight dispatching, brokering, or you want to be an owner operator, or you just want to be a driver, you have to be knowledgeable of the industry so that you can know when you're going to be played. That's the same thing that you're saying. If you
100%.
don't understand the market, you don't understand your lane, you don't understand your vehicle, then you don't have the right to come onto these platforms and complain about the market. It's not
Exactly.
the market, it's you not being properly
Exactly.
prepared. And I tell people the easiest, most cost efficient way to get into transportation and understand this beast called trucking is freight dispatching, because it's going to teach you the terminology. You need to know what you're talking about, what a RPM versus a CPM is. You need to know what a broker is. You need to know what a customer is. Like, you need to know the language in order to have a conversation with someone like you, a broker, or me, a freight dispatcher, and not just think that we're going to wave our magical wand and make you a millionaire in 6 months. You have
See,
to understand what it's going to take for you to get to that marker.
exactly. And that's the thing, is that they expect others um to be fair, right? But like when you put money in front of it, people are not going to play fair, right? You have to do your due diligence and know how to negotiate, or else why wouldn't they take that? It's money right in front of them, right? I'm not
Somebody got to
saying
get it.
someone's like it's crazy, and I want to go back to what you were saying. You're like, you need to know all boards, or all placements on the chessboard, right? You need to
Absolutely.
know exactly. It's like, you know why Tom Brady is such a good quarterback, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the world? Not because he's great at throwing a football. He studied every single position. He knows what the running back does. He knows what the
Yeah.
wide receivers do. He knows
Right.
what the
Right.
linemen do. He knows what
Yeah.
he knows every position on the field, just like the person playing that position. And that's what makes him the best quarterback. And I tell these truck drivers, the way that you're going to make more money in this industry is educating yourself on the dispatching side, educating yourself on the freight brokering side. Of course, I would hope you would educate yourself on the trucking side if you're driving a
Right.
truck.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to educate yourself. And if you have problems in the industry, no one's going to just be like, oh, you can trust me, or they will, but you could trust me. No one's going to give a crap about your business more than you do. So you have to take control over it and learn it. And it's not like it's not like you're going to school to learn, rocket science,
Right.
it's a very easy thing to learn, but you just need to be taught by someone that has a passion, because it is hard to learn from someone that doesn't teach the way that you learn. Like, I'm more of a
Exactly.
hands-on learner. I need someone to show me how to make money, show me how to
Right.
prospect, show
Yeah.
me how to lead, like show me how to do these things. So like,
Yeah.
if that guy doesn't do that, or if that guy doesn't, at least if he's not in the industry, because like I own my own brokerage, so I would want
Right.
to learn from me because I own my own brokerage.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm currently doing it. So I would want to learn from someone like that. So I think that is a huge tip for people, is pick someone that fits your style of learning, you know?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Again, we can end right now if you want, because you just killed the whole myth, you know? You killed the
Of
whole
course.
myth
And
relates to
and I'm,
it.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm trying my hardest to make it not a myth, not a conspiracy,
Yeah.
that the market is so bad, this and that. It's like, no, it's just there's people dipping in your pockets, and by the
Mhm.
time it gets to you, it's gone. And that's why you're
That's
not
right.
profitable. And that's why your trucking business goes in the hole, because you have
Yeah,
zero control over the freight that you're moving. The
that's right.
reason why the brokers make so much money, because they work direct with the person that pays the bills, the
That's right.
shippers. You're
That's
you've got a dispatcher and you've got a broker involved, right? And you expect them, hopefully, pray to God that they do you right. But if you give them
right.
too much, room, they're gonna take and take and take. And if you're not educated, it's they're just gonna take. It's like, because it's so
Absolutely.
so.
Absolutely.
Um,
So let me ask you this, Trent.
yeah.
What do people misunderstand most about freight brokering?
What do what they think every broker's a bad broker.
Yeah.
Um, they think it's like good cop, bad cop, right?
Yeah.
So there's good cops just because there's bad cops doesn't mean every cop is bad, right?
Yeah.
There's still good cops. Like without cops, we would all be screwed, right? There would be crime, there would be mafia, there would be bad things happening. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, brokers are very much needed. They're the ones making the deals to get the freight to then give it to the drivers. Otherwise, brokers wouldn't be a thing, right?
Yeah.
Truck drivers are driving the truck. We are getting the deals, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it's very necessary. People think that every broker is a bad broker. Like me, I pay my drivers very well. That's why
Yeah.
that's why I don't have to search for trucks really anymore because I pay them well. They do good work for me, and if they do good work for me, I keep giving them the freight, and it becomes a cycle of money, right? It's residual income at that point. I've got all my drivers ready to go, moving these specific loads. Whenever my customer tells me, I'm like, I already know the drivers that I'm going to send it to. Boom, take them, right? So you build relationships on both ends, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Great. What mistakes do new brokers make?
I would say the biggest mistake that I see that brokers make is the lack of consistency. They lose um they lose motivation off of one no, right? One no today doesn't mean it's going to be a no next month. It could be a yes next month, right? So there's a cycle. So as a freight broker, you go out and you speak to shippers, you plant a seed, right? You're just
Yeah.
some Joe Schmo at that point. You give them your
Right.
shipper packet, you let them know you're a broker, right? Perfect. You're a broker. You're legit. Now at this point, you want to follow up. So most brokers follow up one time and they're like, "Oh, I didn't get freight. On to the next." No, what you want to do is find out if they have freight, if they work with brokers, do they have volume? What are their lanes? Now, if you can answer those questions and they're all check marks, follow up, follow up, follow up until you receive the business. I don't
Right.
care if they say no. I don't care if they say no today. I don't care if they say no on Friday and next week and next month. Eventually, if you stay in front of them, when they run into an issue, they're going to reach out to the person that's most accessible, not the biggest company, not the smallest company. They think of who's the easiest person to grab. I need help now. That's when you come in, save the day. Now you have a customer for life.
That's right. I love that you said that. Consistency is the key in this industry. And that's the same thing with as a freight dispatcher. I see so many people talking about they get into this space, they can't find any carriers, you can't find any drivers. I'm like, that is insane because there are so many different places to find them. And you can't just sit behind the laptop and think you're going to find it. Like you literally, this is a relationship building industry, meaning you have to get out because as advanced as we're becoming with the integration of automation and AI, you still have old school people that are decision makers that you need to come out and go to these events and shake hands and go to their office so they can put a face to a social media page, So I love that you said that because that's the same for any pieces of this industry. Even if you're an owner operator, you want to try to, meet the right brokers or dispatchers. You should be going to local establishments and events to meet these type of people. So I'm glad that you made mention of that. So what skills matter more than people realize as a freight broker?
Um, I would say your people skills, really, seriously. I would say literally 50% of a successful freight broker is knowing how to speak to people and be a genuine person and like actually help, right? Um, for example, people think that they're going to get freight if they just ask for freight. So most brokers just ask, ask, ask. Can I have, can I have, can I have? Rather than, how about I can solve your problems? Hey, what issues are you going through? Can I help you with those? Hey, are you your current providers, your current brokers, what are they doing that you don't like? I want to make sure that I'm the best broker possible. So if I know what you like and what you don't like, I can do a whole lot of what you like and a whole lot of not of what you don't like. And
Right.
there, I'm your best broker, right? It's that simple. But the difference between me and them is I will sit down and figure out everything that you love in your brokers and everything you don't. And most brokers don't most brokers like 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 they don't pay attention to those things. It's like having a girlfriend. If you go up to her and you give her flowers, right? But she's allergic to flowers. Why would you bring flowers the next time, right? Learn from that. She's allergic. Don't bring her
Right.
flowers, right? Bring
Right.
her chocolates, right?
Right.
So, but if she does love flowers, keep bringing her flowers. Same with
Mhm.
shippers. If they love this, keep doing that. If they don't love that, first off, you got to figure out if they don't like that because they're not going to tell you completely everything. They'll just find another broker. So find that
Yeah.
out and don't do that. And now you're the
Yeah.
best broker possible. So
Yeah.
trying to find out, because listen, Sam is totally different than Jennifer, right? Meaning
Yes.
every shipper is different. One shipper might love a massive amount of emails, one might hate that. Figure out
Right.
those little things. And it's
Right.
all about just being the person that they want you to be, you know?
I love that analogy you gave about dating because this is, again, I keep harping on it. I keep saying it, but that's what's going to afford you to be successful in this industry is building a relationship. And a relationship is just not a one-time encounter. It's consistency, it's showing up, it's being professional, it's being prepared, it's having an actual functioning website that you give someone their email or your business card and everything on it is still current. Like
Yeah.
it's little nuances like that that you think is not a big deal, but like you said, today you may talk to the customer or shipper and they're like, no, we don't need any help. But all of a sudden they got 3 ships that came in and now they got to move all of this freight, all of these containers off the ship, and now they need to move them to storage and they have a short period of time. They're all hands on deck. That's the beauty of this industry is because it literally can be dry as a desert one week and then the next week you can't even remember the last time you took a bath because you're
I
just moving.
know.
So like
Yeah.
that's the thing that people need to understand about this industry, especially if you're going to be direct customer connect, is don't plan to have a real social life or a family life in the beginning. You need
Yeah.
to be you need to be all hands on deck because it only take that one time that that customer calls you and say I need, and you say, oh, I'm on vacation. Oh, okay.
You
All
gotta be
right.
right there. You gotta yeah.
You're done. You're done. And what people need to understand as well, this industry, they talk. Don't think just because I'm in Texas and you might be in Nevada that, we don't, your name is not floating around somewhere. Like,
Yeah, it's like high school.
yeah, they talk. And it only take one time to say, oh, I called Trent and he didn't even answer his phone, or the number he gave me was disconnected. Oh, they're not even gonna, like you said, they're not even gonna waste energy and time because there are hundreds of others that are hitting them up either, on the phone or an email. So they have a database of, resources as well. So
Yeah.
I guess the next question, you kind of touched on it, but why are relationships so important in freight?
Um just because like the last person I want to work with is someone that I don't want to work with, right? It's a pretty easy answer. It's like this guy's boring. They don't
Yeah.
genuinely want to help. They just want to take money from me. But if you reached out to me on Christmas and told me, "Hey, instead of asking for freight, and you called me and said, "Hey, Trent, I just want to say God bless you. Merry Christmas. All of your family members, I hope they're in good health. Um, thank you for everything you've done for me. I'm not here to ask for freight. I'm here to just tell you how much I appreciate you. Thank you and have a blessed holiday." Boom. Right there. That's a relationship, right? So like as a girlfriend, I always bring up relationship stuff because everybody has been through it. Um, Girlfriends love communication. In order to keep if you stop texting your girlfriend, or you in your case, a boyfriend, um, if you stop texting them, they're just gonna you're gonna fall out of love. You have to stay in communication in the best way possible. um Not being annoying, not asking for stuff, because if I asked my girlfriend for if I asked for things over and over and over again, she'd be annoyed and not want to be with me. So you have to find that fine balance of what they like and what they don't like, but also helping and providing. um Relationship is everything. It really is. It's the reason why people want to keep working with you.
Absolutely. Here's a good question for you. How
Uh-huh.
do you recover when something goes wrong? So let's say, for example, the carrier didn't show up or the carrier actually got into an accident.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have some serious horror stories in your career,
Well,
five,
I
10
would.
years.
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely horror stories. And it really just depends on the situation. So if it's a flat tire, I'm not going to tell the customer it's a flat tire. I'm just going to recover the load and let the customer know that the truck is running late, right? If I say a flat tire, they're going to grow gray hair and be so stressed out for what? Like they don't need to know that. I'll take care of it. I just will tell them that there's a lot of traffic. I know it's a lie. I know it sounds unethical, but what you're doing is trying to relieve the stress from the shipper as much as possible. You don't want them to stress out. You want the stress. Take the stress. That's your job. Make sure that you handle the situation. Your job is to get that freight there, right? If it's late, fine, but don't let them know that like the tire pop. But if they crash, that's a different story. You got to be as transparent as possible. Hey, customer, unfortunately, my driver got in a wreck. I'm gonna let you know if the product is damaged. I hope it's not. Um, you have to understand that this is a very dangerous job. Truck driving isn't a very easy job. You could leave to go to McDonald's and get a small fry and get in a wreck. It's very possible. There's people out there that don't know how to drive, and I just want to let you know that we're gonna get this handled. And things happen. It's a very dangerous job. Things happen, and I promise you, I'll make it right. I'll make sure everything goes smoothly after this. I'll keep you updated. So being transparent, um, I think is the most important thing, really. And you know, recovering it there's so many situations that I've been through, and it's you know, so every situation can be handled less stressful for the shipper
Right.
if it can be, but if it can't, if it's something that they have to know about, then you gotta be transparent. You have to. You can't lie to them because um and you got to be good at like knowing if the load is going to be delivered. Like, can we transload this, get it on a different truck, and deliver it tomorrow morning? If that's the case, I'll just let them know it's late, and then I'll let them know it deliver in the morning. Okay, I'd rather that than say the truck broke down. So
Right.
it's just,
So what you're saying is, so in a situation like that, you would just say it's going to be late, but on the back end, you're already working on getting another driver to come pick it up, or yeah, okay,
exactly. Because if let's be honest here, if someone came to me and said the tire popped, I don't know when it's gonna, like I'm just stressed out now. Like you just made me so stressed out. It's like someone driving a boat through a storm, right? You're a captain. The captain has to stay calm because guess what? If you're freaking out, the whole crew starts to freak out, and everybody's like chickens running around. And now everything is bad, right? If you stay calm and say, guys, this is fine. I mean, it's terrible outside, but you are calm. We'll keep everybody else. Guys, come on, relax, relax. I got it. Trust me. This storm, I've been through it many times. And in your head, you haven't, right? You're like, okay, we're going to get through this. I'm telling you, that's how you get through those situations. You got to be calm. It, and then worst case, something really bad happens and you can't deliver the load. Then just be transparent with them. But uh, you're, being the best broker possible is also keeping as much stress from the shipper as possible, but still
yeah.
delivering.
Excellent answer. I love that.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, we're all gonna die in your head, but this is
exactly.
we're good.
Yep. In your head, you're like, oh my God, this is not good. But again, if you freak out, then or the whole crew freaks out, and then it's just way worse.
Yeah,
You know. So
absolutely. In your opinion, is freight brokering more about sales or logistics?
both.
Both.
Both, 100%. I mean, you have to know how to, you know, you need to know the logistics. You need to get it from point A to point B. Simple as that. You need to know how to handle situations that arise. You need to know how to handle your customers when bad things happen, you know. You need to know how to keep customers when good things happen. You need to know what they want you to do. You need to know what they don't want you to do. You know, there's a lot of moving parts in the logistics side, and you got to be good at it, right? Um, and and then the sales part, of course, you need to win people over. Simple as that. You need to win people over. You can't just go in there and think that they're just going to fall in love with you. It doesn't happen. That's like me going into uh, a bar and hoping that this girl falls in love with. No, you got to work on it. You got to text her in the morning and tell her, "Hey, I miss you," or give her flowers if she likes flowers. You got to work it up. This
Yeah.
life isn't that easy, guys. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great transition into the next question, which is how
Mhm.
do you build credibility with new customers? I think that's
Um,
that.
yeah, build
We can talk
credibility.
about that offline, but let's share with the people.
Yeah. I would say building credibility with customers. It's really just getting in the door and moving that first load, right? And then when you move that first load, giving them the luxury like service that you can, like sit down with them, understand what they want in a broker, understand what they don't want in a broker. And when you move that freight, sit down and have a meeting on what they loved that you did and what they didn't love
Yeah.
that you did. And remember, just try to be the best version of yourself, be as genuine as possible, help, um and then learn who this shipper wants you to be.
Yeah.
And just building credibility is the same way as building a relationship with a woman. Like, I know I keep bringing that up, but um, it's the same thing. It's in every industry and everything in life. Building a relationship is very important. If you want to do business with people, you need to provide value. You need
That's
to
right.
provide solutions to people's problems. Like a networking event. If you walk into a networking event and you just go, "Hey," and you see a guy that's very successful and you go up to him, you're like, I would love for you to come on my, podcast. I would love for you to, give me advice on, can you tell me, like, no, you're just asking for a bunch of stuff, right? But in reality, the way to actually get in with the higher individuals is to provide value. Hey, I've seen your platform, and there's 5 things that I can do for you to make you much more successful. And actually, I've printed it out for you here. I want you to check it out. You don't have to, you know, but I'd love to see if this would even be a solution for you. It's free. You don't have to hit me up. I just want to see if this works. He'll remember that. He'll then get
That's
in the
right.
door with them. If you get that number from him, now you have a relationship, right? Now you have someone to talk to that's now higher up because you provided the value, right? But if you ask, it never works.
That's right. That's right. And I think that's with any relationship, any
Yep,
industry, any business model. You have to be
100%.
able to go back to, and I keep stressing this in every interview, people need to get back to creating business plans before they start their business. And my personal reason for saying that is that how do you know you're progressing? How do you know if your business model is working? Because you should be flexible and adjusting in the beginning because you're new. And so you're just building off of what you've heard others, or, hopefully you invested in a consultant or a mentor that helped
Yeah,
you to start. But even still, you need to know what your beginning, your mid, and your exiting plan is, because essentially that should be the whole pillar of found on your foundation that you're using. You should be growing in your business. If you're at the same stance, you still trying to find shippers, and this you've been in this for 5 years, then there's something that you need to be adjusting in your business model, right?
a lot of people don't know that they're doing the wrong things, which is an issue because they could keep doing it and blame the market, right? Or they could hire a mentor to get them there. Tell Like, I work with a lot of truck drivers that want to become brokers, right? And they make calls and they're doing the wrong things, and I hear it. But if they didn't have me to tell them that they're doing the wrong things, would they ever
Right.
know that? No,
Yeah.
they wouldn't. They would think that, like, okay, they're doing the right things, right? Like, I'm making
Yeah.
calls, I'm doing my job. The market sucks. No,
Yeah.
you're doing this wrong.
In your opinion, do you believe this is a check mark industry? Like you just, oh, do this, this, and this, and this, and then you'll get to there? Or do you feel it's check mark and balance?
I
Meaning
think,
try it, and if it's not working, then give it enough window of time to actually research the data, see if that was working, what was working, what wasn't working. Do
yeah.
you, yeah.
I think I don't think it's a check mark. I think it's a land full of landmines. And the way it works is, okay, because a check mark, when I think of check mark, it's so easy. And the landmines are in a straight line. So all you gotta do
Right.
is just go around. It's not that easy. The landmine is here. You got to learn how to go here and go around over to this way and then this. So there's a little sass in between each landmine. There's a
Yes.
little there's a little hidden secret that you didn't even know you had to do. So next time you hit uh that problem, you need to know to do this, right?
Right.
So in a sense, it is a check mark. Um, but once you get it, you know it. Like that's the best part is once you learn it, you're locked
Yeah.
in. You know the things. Like lead generation. People as freight brokers are looking in the wrong areas. They're not being unique with their commodities. They're they think off they go, I, I'm creative. I can come up with commodities to call. Lumber, steel. Everybody searches those because everybody thinks of those. Those are the
Right.
common commodities. What if I told you there's a way to find commodities, which I teach? Like I'm in very niche commodities, like salt lick bricks. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
They're bricks of salt that cows lick, right? Nobody knows what it is. They lick them to get their proper minerals, or I don't to be honest, I don't know. I put it on a truck and make money off of it. Um, but they're bricks of salt that cows lick. So I ask this question all the time, and no one knows what it is. So what does that tell me? Not a lot of people are researching the manufacturers. Not a lot of people are calling them. So guess what? Now all of a sudden the market isn't bad because it's not saturated. It's a commodity that is not saturated. People need to think outside the box. They need to find commodities that are different, like field turf rolls. I master field turf rolls. You know, I know that's not like a crazy unique commodity like salt lick bricks, but you just gotta. People are looking in the wrong areas. That's why they're not successful at it.
I'm glad that you said that because I literally had a conversation the other day and I was talking about the same thing and how when you're getting into this industry, you need to niche down. I see so many freight dispatchers, they have their flyers, they have dry van, reefer, sprinter van, cargo van, flatbed, and you dispatch for them all. No, you don't. It is virtually impossible for you to dispatch for all those because each one of those equipments come with their own type of language. So you cannot have mastered all of them and
Yeah,
now
yeah,
as a brand new, because when you start dispatching, you start to figure out which niche actually you enjoy, like I like open deck, heavy haul, because I don't know, I just like the construction and so all of that is typically what goes with,
and you can relate. You know,
yeah,
you can relate.
exactly. So I say that to say that understand first geographically where you're positioned, understand where you want to actually be working, because if you're in Florida, like you said earlier, Florida, and you want to work with sprinter vans, then that might not be the niche or the geographical location that you want to work with, because Florida is more known for their produce.
Hmm.
So sprinter vans typically aren't big enough where you can even make a lot of money moving anything out of there. So why would you focus on sprinter vans? You might want to
Yeah,
focus
yeah.
on
That is pretty much like the same thing as what I teach my
yeah,
my people is like in a freight brokering standpoint. If you're looking at Salt Lick bricks, why are you looking in Florida? Right?
exactly.
It's like salt isn't being dug in from the ground because salt comes from the ground, right?
Right.
The people that I work with, they dig into the ground and they pull up the salt and they bag it or compress it. And
Mhm.
So you want to look in Utah or, Carlsbad, New Mexico, places like
Yeah.
that. So what you have to do is just research. What is the
Yes.
what man like these manufacturers, because Google, people are so ignorant nowadays, they don't even use the internet. And it's
Yeah.
right there in front of them. They think it's too cliche. But Google has answers to everything, right?
Everything.
And what I do is normally, what is the top 5 states in the United States that manufacture salt? Now search in those places, right? Not pick a random state that you haven't even
Right.
researched, right? Because then you're going to be missing out on the real
Yeah.
opportunity. So yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're 100% accurate. 100%. What mindset has helped you stay in business this long? So it's been, you said 10 years? No, 5 years with your own brokerage, but 10
Yes.
whole,
So
right?
almost 6 years I've been I've owned my brokerage, and I've owned this mentorship where I teach people. Um, so the thing that keeps me going is having a real reason why, having a passion for the industry. I wake up in the morning and I have a reason why, right?
Yeah.
I have a reason to help these truck drivers because my dad was screwed, and I don't want people to get screwed in this industry. And when I help truck drivers make money in this industry, it helps grow the economy and the industry. So it makes me very happy. I'm helping truck drivers like my dad stay in business and be more profitable to feed their family. Like, come on, that makes me happy. That makes me want to wake up out of bed and go, I can't be late. I got people to help. Right? That's what keeps me going.
That I love that. I love that. When we talked about that offline, that you have to have a passion. The passion is what's going. If the only reason why you're doing this because you hear that you can make millions in this industry, then you'll do okay. Realistically, you'll do okay. But do you want to do okay and then you have to constantly be in hustle mode? Or do you want to have a passion that you're not even thinking about the money? You're so focused on answering the problems and providing the solutions and opening doors to people that may not have the same opportunities. I shared my testimony that, I'm, coming home from prison, now being a felon. If I didn't already have the mindset before I went in, I would feel like my life is over. I'm about to be 50 years old. I'm single, not married, and now I'm a felon. So, I'm older, so it's like the market, they're looking for young people that have a clean start. So, but me knowing that this industry will afford me to be able to create an ecosystem of resources for myself where I don't have to worry about my felon. I don't have to worry about my age. I don't have to worry about, I'm a single woman. I don't have to worry about that because I have the knowledge and I know that I can tap into people like yourselves and
Hmm.
others that genuinely care about making change. The money is just a byproduct. It's going to come, because you're putting in that work. But making a change in people's lives, that's priceless. It's
Yep.
priceless. So,
Yep.
what separates people, in your opinion, what separates people who succeed from those who quit?
I'm sorry. The question was,
What, in your opinion, what separates people in this industry who succeed versus those who quit?
um, so I think that the people that the people that quit are just it almost seems to be like a certain type of person. Um, you can almost tell when someone is just they feel like everyone's against them. It's a whole entire mindset that people have that I try my hardest to break, but some people are really stuck on everyone's against them. Um, when in reality, to be successful, like, you have to be a chameleon. You have to got to be consistent and learn from losses because people are scared of failure, and I think that's the best learning lesson. I know we spoke about it earlier. I had cancer. That's what taught me how to see life in a different view, and it made me a better person, even though it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Right? It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Also, so I think what separates failure, the failures with the successful is, um, if you want to be successful, you just got to be consistent and you got to learn from your failures. Because that type of person only views the wins. They don't ever analyze the failures because they're scared of it so much that they don't want to face it face to face. If you want to be successful, look failure directly in the eyes. Directly in the eyes. Anything bad, anything anything bad, you need to figure out how to not do that or how to not run into that and then learn from it, right? But most people are scared of that. And then that's what keeps you from being successful, I think. That's just from my experience.
I agree 100%. That, and I love that you shared your journey with, kicking cancer's butt,
Yeah.
and and how, it caused you to get closer to your purpose. And our purpose is to be used by God and to be used by him to help his people. And that's what you do. I love what you do on your platform, how transparent you are. And so you're so approachable, with all your wins and your successes in life, but you're still willing to take a moment and help somebody else. And I think once you have that, and that just speaks to your passion in life, that you understand that life is short. You now understand what's more important, and you're willing to sacrifice all the social norms, having a nice luxury lifestyle opposed to spending time with your loved ones. Doesn't mean you give up one, but you switch the position. The loved ones and quality time is more important than the lifestyle. The lifestyle
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean, honestly, that's what the cancer taught me. So look, again, you could be someone that got cancer and mope and cry in the corner and don't learn anything from it. Or you can be someone like me and look it directly in the eyes and say, what am I going to learn from this? Why did God put this in my life? There's obviously a reason. And the reason why you have such bad things happen to you in life is because he's preparing you for the future. Because trust me, there is going to be a worse day. I can tell you that right now. There's going to be a worse day. And if you don't know how to get through this, buddy, you're not going to get through the future. And if you want to be successful and at the top like everybody else, you got to know how to go through things like this. So God put that in front of me because he knew I had a bigger purpose in life. And he knew that I'm going to be challenged again in the future. So he put cancer in front of me. If anything else comes in front of me, it's cake. I'm not worried about this guy calling me and threatening me on social media. I don't care about that guy. You think I had cancer? It's like this guy. Come on, because there's obviously social media can get in your head, and so um yeah, I think that the cancer taught me a lot. It got me closer to God. It got me a better perspective on life. It helped me get through harder times in my life. You know, things that I thought would be hard before cancer now are the easiest things to get through. So it's just like, man, I'm stronger, I'm happier, I'm closer to God, and it all happened for a reason. Even though it was the worst thing that could ever happen to me, it was the scariest thing, but it ended up being the most beautiful thing. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's what it's about. If I keep saying it over and over again, I hear people say all the time that they don't know their purpose. Well, that's because you haven't taken time to figure out what it is. You rather cry about the preparation, because when you have those life challenges, successfully fighting cancer, and then me coming through going to prison and losing everything, and that's one thing people don't know about Satan. Satan don't just take what he gave you. He take what he gave you and everything else. So if you had peace, you had joy, you had health, you had strength, he don't just come take your peace. He gonna come take your strength, your peace, your happiness, your loved one. It's a package deal for him. So you can't just sit and mope and complain. And for anyone that's watching this and you might be experiencing something along those lines and you're trying to figure out how you're going to make it out, get to somebody's church or go to YouTube and listen to a minute, because God is the way out. I promise you. Nothing, it's like you go into a bubble, and just the rest of the world and everything in it doesn't affect you. When you can just get in a bubble, then that's how you'll be able to make it in this wicked world. Like, things come and go. When they made that BMW for the 2026, they were already in production for 2027.
Yeah.
So you can't be focusing on things, because it's always going to be another thing that comes along. But when you understand that your purpose is to serve, God first. And then when you're serving him, then you don't mind serving other people. And serving isn't being a doormat, and let people walk over you, but it's doing like, what Trent is doing, like I'm doing. We're taking time out of our day to share our experiences in life and to show you that there is a way out. You don't have to accept that those things you did in the past is now hanging over your head like an umbrella. You don't have to accept that. You can choose. You can choose to lay there and mope and let it just beat you down, or you can choose to say, I'm going to figure another way out. I'm going to sacrifice. Because we think about this. I'm much older than you, but when I was doing my thing in the streets, I would go to work. I would find a babysitter. I would cook. I would hit the club, stay in the club till 2, 3, or 4 o'clock in the morning, go get my kids, get them ready for school after I left the club. I ain't been asleep because I done worked a full day, but I sacrificed that. Why? Because I knew that that's something that I wanted to do. So if you know that there's bigger and you want to do something different, don't just accept it. Don't accept that you're just in this rut. Fight it. Figure it out. In this day and time, like you said, there's Google, there's ChatGPT, there's Claude, there's YouTube University. I mean, there's no reason for you to stay in that space that there's a yearning in you. Like, I've been
And
shaking.
don't learn from people that you don't want to be. Like, if you look at someone and they're giving you advice and you look at them and go, do I want to be them? Okay, why am I taking advice from
Right.
them? Right?
Yeah.
If they're sitting there and they're in the same position as you, it's not someone you're probably wanting to talk to. You want to look at the guys that are up there, then take advice. And I can tell you this right now, the
Yeah.
advice that those guys give you is gonna hurt real
Yeah.
bad. So
Yeah.
learn how to take a punch. And
Yeah.
if you want to be better in life, you gotta want it for yourself. And not blame ever. Don't ever blame anyone else. Always hold yourself accountable for everything that's happening in your life. If this happened to you in your life, blame yourself. I'm the
Yeah.
reason why. Now
That's right.
learn from it, right? Because
That's
if
right.
if you lose, you just learn. And
Yeah.
I, I can't. I sound like a broken record, but I think that when you learn from failures, it's the way to get through this chapter of life. It's
Yeah.
like this is the code. Like
Yeah.
when you learn those things, you're learning the code while you're failing. Like, just keep going, keep following through, and don't blame anybody else. Please
Yeah.
hold yourself accountable, and that's
Accountable.
huge.
Not There's a difference between holding yourself accountable and then letting it beat you down. I think a lot of people get that twisted, like, yes, you made a mistake. Yes, I did what I did, which caused me to stay in prison, but I'm not that. It's a difference. Like, I committed a felony, but I'm not a felon. Meaning I don't have that mindset. I'm not a broke-minded person. I'm not one that I beat myself up. That was the past. There's nothing I can do about yesterday. And there's nothing I can do about tomorrow until tomorrow comes. I could only be the best person I can today. And that means if I have to read books, if I have to listen to podcasts, if I have to go to free workshops, I have to go to community events, because that's where I know I can be and who I want to be, then you are responsible for that. So holding yourself accountable is looking at what you did, why you did it, figure that out, and then learn from it and move on. Not stay here, because society will have you to feel like, oh, you committed a crime, so you're a criminal. No, I am not. I
Mhm.
committed a crime. I made a mistake. I'm not that mistake. That means that does not define who I am going forward.
The
So I love,
system, this
yeah,
every system that anybody's ever been in, uh, they try to make you feel like I would say school, for example, is a system, and they try to teach you that failing is a bad thing. Like failing a grade or failing a test, or they try to make you feel like that's such a terrible thing.
Yeah.
They're literally training your mind to thinking that failure is a bad thing, but in reality, that's the best thing to happen to you in life. You need to go through things. You need to fail in order to know what not to do.
That's
And
right.
um I think that it's just a way to control somebody. So your brain is a very powerful thing. You could make yourself sick by thinking you're sick, right?
That's
That's
right.
how powerful your brain is. So if you feel like you're a champion, switch your brain, make yourself a champion, and you eventually will become a champion. Like this whole manifest thing it's not a conspiracy, it's real.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. Like
Yeah.
manifesting what you want in life. If you do it every single day, um, you will become what you want to become. But you have to be willing to sacrifice and do it every single day.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Man, I've kidnapped you almost an hour already. So, I mean, this has been amazing, and definitely we're going to have to do this again. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a section that's called the lightning round. And the lightning round is I just fire off a few questions or a few words, and you just tell me which one you prefer. And then
Okay.
we'll go from there. So, the first question, coffee or energy drink?
Oh, energy drink. I'm addicted to these balloons. I don't know why, but they're so good. Yeah, they're good.
Cold calls or referrals?
Um, I love referrals. Referrals are amazing.
CRM or notebook?
CRM all day.
Favorite business book?
Favorite business book. So I have a book that I wrote. I'm completely biased with this.
Okay.
Helps truck
Okay.
drivers learn the brokering side. And I'll send you the information, or you can go on my,
Please do.
yeah, yeah. It's my book, I would say.
Okay. And what's the name of the book? What's the name of the book?
So it's Stop Driving, Start Brokering. You can go on Amazon, type it in, and then you'll see it there.
Okay. Well, make sure you send me the link so I can add it into the video so our viewers can have access to it to support.
You
And
got it.
yeah. So,
Support or help you learn freight brokering. I mean, these guys
absolutely.
got to get educated. So it's a really good book. It's everything that I've took from my brain and put in there that I think a truck driver could educate themselves. All right, next question.
One habit every entrepreneur should develop.
Thick skin and the understanding of you can't talk to Sally the same way that you talk to Jennifer, or Jennifer the same way you talk to Jeff. Everybody has their own emotions, and in this entrepreneurial world, you need to know how to manage emotions. That's how you become a successful business.
I say that 1,000 times. I say that 1,000 times that you have to. Emotional intelligence is the key.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Emotional intelligence is the key. So, final question, if someone watching today wants to build a freight brokerage that lasts, not just one that survives, what's the first thing they need to do?
Take care of your shippers. Take care of your shippers. Show them good work by paying your drivers very well. If you pay your drivers very well, they do good work for your shippers. And look, you see how it works? You pay your driver very good. He wants to keep taking that freight, right? Because you're
Yes.
paying him very well. He does great job. He shows up on time because you paid him well. He then
Yeah.
shows the shipper that we do good work. Shipper's happy. They send us more loads. Perfect. That's what we want. Now you keep doing that and make a bunch of money and do that with every customer. Take care of your drivers, take care of your shippers, and you will have a successful freight brokerage. Simple as that.
Yep. And there you have it. It was very simple, very, very easy, very to the point. So Man, this has been amazing. You have dropped so many gems. I hope people were taking notes. If you have not, just hit the replay. We're watching again several times. Please let the people know how that they can follow you, how they can reach out to you for mentoring, and whatever else you got going on.
Yeah, so follow me on all platforms. Forever Freight Broker. If you search it, will pop up. You'll see my Asian face. Go ahead and click follow. You can find me on all platforms, whatever platform you want. Um, and you can go to our website, foreverfreightbroker.com, to get more information on there. I have free like training sessions that I've had. You can go in there and learn how to freight broker, lead generation, script, like a bunch of free information. I've got a bunch of podcasts on there, a bunch of good information. They can basically go on there and request calls as well. Um, so that platform for the mentorship, I only take 50 people per month. It's not something that like everybody can join, so you have to make sure you inquire about it. And when you inquire, we'll have an agent call to see if it's a good fit, because the last thing we want to do is, you know, sell a mentorship to someone that isn't really interested, or
Right.
doesn't have problems. I'm looking for truck drivers, dispatchers, people that want to get in this industry that already know it pretty much.
Right.
And I want to make them successful. So Forever Freight Broker, look us up.
All right. Well, Trent, it's been so awesome to have you on. I appreciate you making time in your very busy schedule. We're definitely going to have to do this again
Yeah,
in
for sure.
the very near future. And thank you for sharing your testimony and your journey of, beating cancer. That's very, very big.
Oh
We're
yeah.
glad you're still here. You still got some more work to do, man. That's why you
Oh
came.
yeah. I'm still fighting. Every day is a fight.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you for joining us for another episode of the UTL Trucking Education Hub podcast. Remember this, you can make excuses or you can make progress, but you usually can't make them both. Now that's the trucking truth. Until next time.
Peace out.